Yeah, sorry, Roger. I accidentally muted you, so you can unmute yourself. Roger, you muted. Let's see if you can unmute yourself on Zoom itself.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks. Sorry about that.
Sorry, I do apologize.
I'm used to it, Clinton. Everyone's trying to mute me since the day I was born. I
No
don't know.
problem.
I really don't.
Anyway,
Cheers, mate. Anyway, joking
enjoy your
apart,
TR.
enjoy the day. Cheers, mate.
Yeah,
That's
cheers,
it.
bye.
Bye. Okay, good day, guys. Just to make sure everyone's admitted. That's great. Okay, yeah, good day. A couple of new guys there. Just want to mention this. My name is Roger, Quick Trade Support, life to advise on your trading journey. And this is a forum. Don't forget. This is not a class like the normal where you sit down, take notes, and pass an exam. No, this is an interactive forum where we put together some of the stuff you learn in the classes and come up with some trade ideas, discuss anything we're not sure about, practically speaking, and economic fundamentals, that sort of thing, where we interact, ask questions, etc. So remember, it's like a round table, it's interaction, and it's an ongoing process. It's not a quick class where you sit there and hope at the end of it you learned a lot and then you go on and make a fortune trading. No, it's interactive. If you're not sure about something and you don't ask, well, we can't solve the problem. And I found a few people do interact, and those are the ones who do okay. Others don't, and unfortunately, they wonder why it backfires. So it is important. If you're not sure, ask. And as people beginning, we all had to start some stage. So I know don't be frightened of guys who've been doing it a little bit longer. Everyone, when they first got the motor car, thought it was complicated. And after a while, they said it's not so difficult after all. So please take notes, interact, and yeah, and hopefully we'll get some good coming out of it and some value coming out of it. Hope that's all clear because I'm now going to change it over. It's half past to share the screen. If you can't see it, just let me know. Just one thing, if you're not muted and you're not interacting, your background noise could interfere with the room. So just make it, if you're not interacting, just mute yourself. So unless you're alone, doesn't matter. But if you've got other people around, probably better mute yourself so you interact with, so you don't interfere with the trading room, but unmute when you want to ask any questions. Or if you're a bit shy in that direction, just post on the chat line. Okay. Right, let's get started. Half past it is. Okay. Yeah, the GBP I've got up there, it's been giving us some jip. We got it at 25, but don't look at the money, look at the pips. Always remember that. A lot of people say I'm down 2,000 or 200 or 20,000 or 10, but doesn't really, that's not really the point because the amount is obviously comparable to the balance you've got. So a guy with £1 million might be down 10,000 rand. A guy with 20 grand should not be down 10,000 rand. They've overexposed. So we're talking about pips. And then it evens it all out. So we 1.25 with the signal, and it's now 20 pips in the wrong direction, but it's a lot better than 50 at one stage it was yesterday. Our stop was at 80, so the risk on this trade was 80 pip loss. Hope we're all understanding that. So 1.25 was the entry, 1.2580 of the stop loss, so therefore the risk was 80 pips. That's why I did a position style calculator, and that's how I can work out the correct volume accordingly. If that is beyond, then you've got to go back and work out how to do that because that is vital. Volumes have to be correct, otherwise you're going to overexpose or underexpose, come to that. Right, so now we're about 25 pips plus minus. It's bouncing on the 1 hour, 50-day move, 50-hour moving average, and hopefully it's going to break through. The dollar index, because we're obviously buying the dollar and selling the pound, has increased, and I'm hoping it's going to increase a little bit more, obviously, to mitigate the short side of the pound dollar. So keep your fingers crossed. It'll break through that 51-hour moving average, short-term moving average, to break down to get some profit out of it. Okay. I have, however, I'm putting a little bit of codicil on that in the fact that I'm a little bit worried about dollar strength going forward. I might get a bit of noise at the round figure of 124. It's about 123.70 on the dollar index at the moment. If it gets to 124, it might get a bit of noise. So if we can get some profit out of it, don't forget, modify your stop loss, maybe partially take back some of your position. You can take all of it or whatever, it's up to you. But I'm getting a little bit nervous of the target being reached with the dollar being a bit questionable at the moment. Just bear that in mind. But let's see if we can get into a profit before we worry about that. Okay, right. So that's the stage on that one. Just want to mention we've got a couple of trade ideas out. You should have received them. The ones that are a member of my VIP group would have got them immediately and much quicker. Whether that's good or bad, another story. But then after a period of time, it was posted for on the MT5 platform. So what is my VIP group? For those who don't know, if you got 2,500 Rand or more equivalent in dollars, let me know and I'll add you to the group, and you'll get daily economic updates, other areas of interest, and of course then you'll get these signals posted direct to you on the WhatsApp. Okay, now why 2.5? Even that's a tiny amount of money, but at least you can diversify. The people below that don't have enough money to diversify, so there's no point in getting extra signals because they don't have the money to get into them. Remember, you need a free margin to do that, and you need to have plenty of free margin to keep. Like it says, free margin. And if you've got small amounts of money, as in below that, or very small amounts of money, you can only go about one trade at a time, or you're going to be overexposed. So just bear that in mind. If you haven't got it, if you can add funds, great. If you can't, just bear in mind it's going to be a long, long process to get to where you want to go because your capital at starting is so tiny. Just bear that in mind. Forget anything you've learned. If you started with tiny amount, you're going to make lots of money quickly. If you win the lottery, yes. In business, no, it doesn't quite work that way, unless you get incredibly lucky. But that's not. But that I wouldn't bet on that. Just bear that in mind, okay? Because it astounds me people can put in a few £100 thinking they can make money on it. Highly unlikely because you're undercapitalized. Okay, it's like trying to go to Pick and Pay shopping with 20 Rand. You might find something to buy, but very limiting. Okay. Right. So if you do, then you can let me know, WhatsApp me, and with 2.5 grand or more, then I can assist you with advice, trading queries, and I can make a member of my group. Okay. If you haven't got my number, I'll post it now. Actually, now we've got no time at the present day. But not if you've got under. I can't help you. I cannot add value to tiny amounts of money, and certainly I can't do one-on-one Zooms because it's like going to a lawyer who charges 1,000 Rand an hour to get you off 100 Rand speeding fine, 100 Rand parking ticket. It's not. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, I hope you get that. If you don't get that, you might find this business a bit of a battle. Okay, so just going to put that down. Okay. I'm also going to put a couple others down. Just give me a second, guys. I think most of you got it, but one or two new guys there. Just the economic calendar. I discussed that many times. Obviously, got to know what fundamentals are happening. You don't want jumping into what am I doing here? Sorry, I just pressed the wrong button. Just let me do it because that's what I'm trying to talk and do something at the same time. Press the wrong button, it comes out as gibberish. Just give me a moment. Where was that now? Just get this stuff out of the way, see what the hell I'm doing. That's why typos like today are made, because you try to talk, explain, and tap buttons, and it just comes out, yeah, gobbledygook. I'm going to put the dollar index, refer to all the time because it's important, very important. Give you that link as well, so you can have it. I'm sure there's one or two who don't. If you do, well, sorry, waste your time. And the yields on the 10-year note, also very important. Okay, if you don't know, ask. If you don't ask, I won't answer. Okay, it's just trying to get people to get more involved. I'm trying to get away from feeding. We're not children. We need to, interact. Oh, that's better. Okay, there we are. Hey, Chris, I think you'd agree on that. Who's joined us? Okay, right. Let's go back and put that up. Just make sure I've got everything sorted out this side. Yes, I have. I lost the Zoom now. What was that to Zoom? Okay, that's okay. So just give me a second. I've got two screens. I'm going to have to get another couple. I can see that's ridiculous. This. Where am I? Okay. Yeah, we're in business. Good. Okay. Yeah. Hope that's all clear. Let these guys in. Yep. Hi all. Got it. Thanks, Chris. Good to have you. Good to have you there. Right. Okay. So we've got a couple of trade ideas. If you like them, do them. If you don't like them, don't do them. The information on the trade signal is patently clear. I mean, entry point, stop loss, TP, the risk per 1, 2, 3, 4 micros. You've got more money, extrapolate. That shouldn't have to be explained. If it does, I'm going to be horribly honest with you. You've got to question this market's for you. Because believe me, to learn, hey, Chris and the guys who've done this before is a bit more involved than 101 is 2. And if you're back to 101 is 2, it might not be for you. Okay. Right. You might want to know why. That's a different question altogether. Why do you think we should be a buy and be a sell? If you want an explanation why I came up with the trade idea, that's a different ball game. I'll explain with pleasure. If you're quite happy with it without the explanation, I clearly don't want to bore you with it. So that's how we do the interaction. Hope we're all good with that. Okay. Fine. Before we go on to going to past trades, any questions, guys? Anything we'd like to go over? Becky Zayla, Carlo, welcome. Cornet, of course, Chris and Edwin, etc. Anything you'd like to go over? Anything you need clarification on? If I speak a bit quickly, just let me repeat. I have a habit of doing it. Remember, I've only got one language. I do beg your pardon.
Good morning, Roger. This is Carlo speaking.
Oh, hi, Carlo. Oh, great stuff. Hi, Carlo. We spoke on the phone. Good stuff. Go for it.
Yes,
sir.
yes. I'm just want to maybe discuss the Dow Jones signal that we got, I think about 2 days ago.
Okay, let's go
What do you think about it? And is it still going down?
Great. Good stuff. Did you hear what he said there? This is what I want. NVDA, thank you very much. I want to go into that. Thank you, Gerard. I see. I'm very careful what I say to Gerard, because if I get the start saying I need him too much, he might start charging me. Fantastic. Thanks. Just a reminder, I should have written that down. I want to discuss that. Remind me. Thanks, Gerard. Okay. Right. Dow Jones. Now, there's quite an. It's about an hour long. I don't know if you'd like the link. I'll put it on anyway. It's quite interesting. I'm going to put it on. It's an hour to wade through it. You don't have to. There's no pressure to do it, but I think it might be interesting to you to see this. Where is it now? My saved items. Just give me a second. Where the hell is it now? Just gobbledygook on. I can't see what I'm doing. Just give me a moment because I've got so much stuff on the other screen. I can't see what's going. That's it. Getting up. Come on, if you come, I get this out of the way. Now, just let me just get hold of it now. Bloody hell. Sorry, just a second. God, no. No. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. We'll try again. If at first you don't succeed, trying to get this thing copy and paste it. Got it. Okay. It's an hour. If you don't want it, it's up to you. Sorry, guys. Just got to get this thing sorted out because it's got so much clutter. That's how typos occur. Right. Okay. Now, let's start off. Before we go to Dow, it's quite, in fact, it's very important. If you can make the time, it's about an hour to listen to that guy. Peter Schiff is a top senior economist. Okay. And he goes on about some of the stuff I've been mentioning in here far more articulately, I might add, because the guy's like a multi-top guy with a half a dozen, whatever he's got. Okay. But the point is, the gist of what he's been saying, I've been saying quite a while. The world is living on debt and it's got to come home to roost. And something he pointed out in that discussion there, which is pretty scary, the debt is so high now in the States, to around about half the taxpayers' money is going to service that debt. So they've got 50% left over, and that's got to pay for all the bureaucracy that is coming out of that economy. That's you know, when I say bureaucracy, it's not wealth creators. It's sort of people have to be paid from the taxpayer. Now, 50% being taken up by servicing debt doesn't leave enough to pay for all the bureaucrats. Okay, so in other words, to do that they've got to borrow, and that's why the borrowing's getting out of hand. And somebody else pointed out it's quite interesting. Now, when you've got a democracy, you've got people there who are going to vote for you. Now, when they vote for you, they've got power. So you often do things that will make them happy, but cost money to do so. And one of the things that is unemployment. When you see high unemployment figures, it puts pressure on the government. So I'll give you an example. And this is an interesting point. When the employment figures come out and they've increased the states, it looks good. But what they don't tell you, something like 10 to 15% of those employment figures increase are in the manufacturing private sector. The other 85% or so are again in the bureaucratic, non-producing wealth, taking wealth sector. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I mean, we need the police force, but not creating it. They're costing. We need those medical. We need those, grants. We need those whatever. But remember, that's all lovely to have, but it's not producing wealth. It's costing. And unfortunately, those jobs, or 85% of the jobs that are being appearing and adding to look good, but they're actually demanding again from the taxpayer. They're not creating. So if they're being paid 10 grand a month, it's costing the country money. It's not producing it. Do you know what I'm saying? So as a result of it, the debt is just escalating till it gets to the stage where they can't pay the interest on that debt, like Eskom. Now we've got a problem. Remember, as long as you pay the interest, even if you're not eating to capital, you're okay. If you pay the interest and eating to some capital, well, that's okay as well. You're probably paying an enormous amount the rest of your life, but never mind, you'll get away with it. When you cannot never mind eating to the capital, can't actually pay the interest on the debt capital obviously start to increase. And that is now pretty close to happen. Now, that is where you start worrying about sovereign debt. You get the idea. So we talk about South Africa over there as well. It's getting near the precipice of a cliff to go over. What's been happening through financial sleight of hand, they are kicking this bloody heavy can down the road. And as Peter Schiff said, the can is getting heavier and heavier to kick until they can kick it no more, and then kabang. So that is one of the reasons why I'm scared of these very escalated markets. Okay, so to answer your question, do I think the Dow is going to come off? I'm sticking with it. It is a short term. We can't give when the car goes off the cliff. We can't give the timing. We can't, but we look, but it's heading towards that cliff. But in the shorter term, we've got a 35,250 stop. It's still within the parameters. It's not getting north. So I'm thinking there could be still a chance of it coming off. But big as it may, you've worked out the trade. You've worked out what you can risk, and so hopefully it'll come right. Because whenever you go into a trade, it's not how much money you can make. It's what you can afford to lose. Sounds horrible, but that's the way it's got to be approached. When you enter a trade, you've got to say to yourself, what can I afford to lose? Now, you might say, I can afford to lose 500, but in my head, I can only handle 300. So you go to your position size. That means if you lose, it's 300. Sure, if it comes to the party, which I hope it does, you're going to make 60% of the profit instead of the entire amount because you reduced your risk, clearly. But at the same time, you've got to take that into account. So that means when you do get stopped out, it's not going to be the end of the world because you went in, and before you went into the position, you've worked out what you can afford to lose. Okay, that is vital to get that concept. Okay, so I'm in that trade for what it's worth. Do I think it's going to work out? Well, if I didn't, I wouldn't be in that trade. I'll give you a quickly show what I mean. Okay, I'll just click on the trade levels there. I'm on the wrong one. Sorry, I'm in the normal one. It's a micro. Don't forget, guys. Please remember. Why am I? It's on the 15-minute chart. Should be able to see that. Why can't I see the trade levels? Why can't I see it? It's the normal one, yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So I'm in that. Okay, put it back to 15 and knock that off. Okay. So there we are. So I'm in that trade, but this is a normal one. Don't forget, if you've got 10 grand, or if you've got below 10 grand, do the micro. If you haven't got the micro, go to the portal, open up another live account and choose the option micros. NASDAQ and Dow are the only two instruments in that micro. If you want to trade other ones, you've got to have another account. You can't load anything but the Dow or the micro or the NAS into that micro account. So if you want to trade other stuff, you've got to have the another account. Okay, so you'll need that if you want to trade now. If you have 2, 3, 4 grand, do not touch either the NAS or the Dow, because you just it's not a forex. It's a far more volatile indices, and it's the volatility will not be able to handle on such a small account. Just bear that in mind. Okay, so there you are. Okay, if you want to trade shares, you've got a bonus account. Remember, you cannot. You can only trade shares on a non-bonus account. I'm going to be quite open and honest with you. Let's start at last talk for once like adults. These sort of bonus accounts are marketing things. Nobody's going to give you something for nothing. The bonus account, I don't know how long, I think it's about a month, just to get you going, fill a bit of comp to trade with. But it's not your money. It's their money. So you can't think, oh, I've bought a grand, I've got another grand, I've got 2. No, you haven't got 2 grand. You've got 1,000 rand plus somebody else's 1,000 rand. It's yeah. So just bear that in mind. So there are certain restrictions when somebody's giving you something. There's nothing for nothing. So when you've got a bonus account, you can't trade shares, but otherwise you're fine. If you want to be a member of the group, you can't say I've got 2 grand here and a 2 grand bonus. The bonus doesn't count. It's your money. It's just to give you comps to get you going. It's a marketing tool, basically, like all things are. Okay, so we're all clear on that. Okay, so in a nutshell, go back to the micro. What is the difference? You're not sure. Left click on the instrument, right click, okay, go to specifications. Are you with me? And it says contract size there, 10. If you go to the micro, right click, specifications, contract size is 1. So clearly, there's 10 times the difference on the other one. So if you get a signal on the Dow micro, we'll never send a normal, it'll be the micro, and it says 50 rand per micro is your risk. If you go to the normal one, it'll be 500 rand a micro, which is fine if you got the bucks. But you've got guys jumping with 2 or 3 micros, the normal one with 2 or 3 grand. It has a 50 pip move and the margin called. These are things you should be learning at the classes, etc. I will help you in the trading room, but it seems to me enormous amount of people are buying courses on it, going to a couple of not a lot of them going to classes, and coming in with fundamental basic knowledge like that, not understanding. How can you possibly drive a car if you don't really know how to change gear or whatever? So those are basics that need to be understood, and that's why you pay good money to Stock Market College or wherever to get those basics. And that's what this training was about, to put that theory, which we assume you know, to learn here. It's a bit like you can't go to university study maths, you don't know 1 and 1 is 2. That's supposed to be learned at school. Hope you understand what I mean. Okay, hope you're all good. Okay, so I would hold that. Yes, you got your stop protecting, it jumps around, very volatile, but I'm still holding on to that one. Okay, spelled it out a bit because I want people to learn, not just a glib answer. Hope we're all clear. Because it's frightening how many people are still trying to look for a no-brainer, something for nothing. That is not going to happen. Got to put in to get out. NVDA. Sorry, I had to go on there, Gerard, but it's becoming an extreme issue where people come with nothing, expecting something, and maybe I'm making myself unpopular, but that ain't going to occur. Right, didn't have much effect because it hardly moved. Now let's talk about NVDA. It's quite interesting, this. NVDA produces a chip which we use in cars, phones, computers. We got to have it. It's almost like water. You can't survive without it. It's not quite life and death, but you know what I mean. Okay, right. Now, this is it. They had had a certain amount of profit expected over the year. I can't remember the billions. About 18 billion. Was it something like that? And then, but the result was they got a lot bigger, a lot higher profit than they expected. So now they expected something like 15 or 14. They got 18. I can't remember the exact figures, but the figures that came through were a lot higher than expected. Are we good with that? Right, you say, that's fine. Let's look at the share price on the 15-minute. This was yesterday. Let's look at the hour, probably easier. What happened? Okay, it went up a little bit to, what was that figure there? 503. It opened about 500 and then came off, and it opened about $1 down. You hear me? So what happens when a company produces a much higher profit than expected. What do you think happens to the share price, guys? What do you think happens? No. It was it happened during market opening. Yeah, it happened during market opening. Good point. Very good point, actually, Gerard. Yeah. No, when the market was tradable, was released, it could be traded. So that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, I have to say, sorry, you're quite right. If it after it wouldn't have had the effect, you're quite right. Sorry, I missed that out. Thanks again, Gerard. But it did happen when market was opening. So it goes up. It increases, hey? If you're doing better, why would the price come down? I tell you what, Michael, you're doing so well this year. You made my company work for me so much money. I'm going to decrease your salary. Michael, you're going to be a little bit, before you get a bit fed up with me, you're going to be scratching your head. What is this guy smoking? You get the point I'm trying to make. Right. Why it happened, because I read into it, because it didn't make much sense to me either, to be honest, was the fact that against sodding bureaucracy, they've curtailed and sanctioned China buying this stuff off them. So China is about 40% of their business exporting this particular chip to China. They do that lower end. America does a high end chip, by the way. They expect bought to China. Now, because of that sanctions, going forward into next year, they expect to take a bit of a knock on their turnover. Understandably, if you're a big customer and you pull out, guys, it's going to affect my business. If you're a tiny one, I'm sorry, don't be rude here, guys. It doesn't matter. But if you're a big player and you move out, then we got a problem. And they're a big player. Okay. That's why on the expectation that it came off. Always remember, guys, what you see on the chart is the price now. We know what the situation is now. So all that knowledge is already priced in. That's why the price is that. So all markets are pricing in or looking at what's going to happen down the line. So that's why you get movements in what's expected, because we know what's already happened. It might be common sense, but we'll look at it that way. So the players, the investors, the speculators, the buyers, sellers of this particular instrument are saying that could be a problem going down the line, because it could have a knock on their income seriously, because one of their biggest clients is sanctioned to buy. Although the client's happy to buy, but the government, again, shooting itself on the politically correct foot, is actually harming the economy from that point of view. That's why you see when I say go woke, go broke, how it's all very nice to be woke until you go broke and then you don't like it anymore. It's always the money, guys. Always the money. And that's why it came off a little bit. It's conflicting. Great news, but the possibly going forward pushed it back again. And that's why it ended up $1 down. Not much down, but that's why you didn't get the $30, $40 jump. However, coming back, did it affect the NAS? Absolutely, yes, it did. Yes, it would, but it didn't, because a $1 move is hardly going to affect the NAS. But it's a big enough player to do it. If that reacted, there's no sanction on China, and it went up to 540, 550, then the NAS would have stopped you out. If you're short the NAS, yes, it would have done. But that didn't occur, so it had no effect. Hope we're all clear. You good with that, Gerard and company? Well, then I don't understand, because the article I read today of it didn't affect it for that reason. Now, if that is the case, then I don't know, because I read the article there that it had a negative effect on the but that doesn't make sense, because in the article I read, the financial article I read, it said because of those reasons, it did have a slight negative looking forward in the price. All I can say to that, if that's the case, Gerard, the guys at the institutional players were given some hint that the profit would be good, but because of those reasons, there could be a couple of issues. So maybe the institutional guys actually did not go for it for that reason. That's the only thing I can come up with. But anyway, the point is that is the reason, and whether it's expected or released on it, we shall see. But that's what came through, and it's quite a good financial article I read on that, actually. So there we are. And I didn't get in Facebook, guys, so I'm assuming there's some standards there. Okay, but it's quite interesting how it's played out. Good. Fair enough. Anyway, okay, guys, so that's those two answered. We've gone through the trades, and we can revisit a few of them. We had a few yesterday. Let's do them in order. We did the CAD JPY, it was a buy. Let's just have a look what they are. So we refer to them quickly there. Just give me a second. Okay, so the CAD JPY is about 107.70. That's 108.60. Well, obviously that's in profit by 90 pips. So those who took it, you do not want to leave your stop loss at 54. But what am I talking about? Sorry, this one here. You don't leave your stop loss at 107.10. Well, you can if you want, but you know, it's up to you. But I suggest in these up and down topsy-turvy markets, it might be an idea to modify your stop into profit. Where to put it? We don't want to get too close to entry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to suggest that you put it 40 pips away. How far? What are we on there? 1 hour? Where's this here? How far away is that? That's 50. Put it below the 10 times 1 hour. Yeah, make it 40 pips away. So if you if you're in, don't chase it now, guys. I've seen guys jump in and do it. Don't chase it now, for goodness sake, it's too late. But it might, I think it's too late. I might be wrong. It might still go up. I don't know. But it's up to you. But my point, I'm talking about guys who took the trade yesterday. It's cleared a nice profit of 90 pips. What I would suggest you do is you modify your stop to 108.20, 108.20. You're going to make a 50 pips you stopped out, but there's enough 40 pip leeway between market and your modified stop to let the noise do its up and down and hopefully not stop you out and continue on to TP when you make an even nicer profit. Okay. That's also true, Leander, quite right, because, well, Naspers is actually South African, but now in the Euronext in Amsterdam, actually a big player, the biggest player actually on the IT side in Europe at the moment. It's still a small compared to the American big boys, but Tencent is Hong Kong, but Chinese, you're quite right. Let's have a look. What does this then? You put something in here. I'm just looking at what you got. The common stock, just get this stuff out of the way. I can't see a bloody thing here. Oh, well, I've got all that information already, so something funny going on there. Yeah, so be it. Anyway, I've reported the article, the financial article I read out to you, and well, I'll stick by anyway. Okay, what is suggestion around movement stock when the trade showing probably I've heard mentioned before. How many bits should we just stop from moving it with some? Okay, yeah, that's the most difficult. Well, most it was one of the rather difficult things, Cornet, is where do you put your stop? If you put it too far away, you think, what the bloody hell's the problem? Because you get stopped out and not much money. If you put it too close, you're going to get stopped out in the noise. So you might as well get out at 108.60 instead of 108.50, because you know you're going to make 10 pips less by too close. It's a bit of a tightrope walk, to be honest. I used to do 20 pips, but I found I was getting stopped out a lot, and it was going on and doing get a target, and I was missing out. So I tried 30, but we got so much profit built in. So I chop and change on that. Let's say it's a very topsy-turvy market and with 30 pips in profit, I would probably suggest, with all funny things going on, maybe modify your stop loss to break even. If you get stopped out, you won't lose. But if you continue, you're on board. But because we got so much meat on the bones to play with, we got 90 pip and climb as we speak to play with, I can afford to have, instead of a 30, a 40 pip stop on it, and you'll still get 50 pip profit. You're stopped out. You get my point? So that's why. So I just judge it on that. Each situation you judge on. You got to think a lot, not a little, a lot on your feet in this business. Are you with me? Okay. Happy with that, corner and everybody else. That's why I look at it that way. It's not one size fits all. That's the best thing you can remember. Got to look at it on its merits. Okay, we'll go to the next one now. Was the Euro Euro GBP. Well, that's just come out there. The Euro GBP we've just done, Carlos. So we'll do the ones that should be just in that. It's a bit to chase. Worry about that right now. Once we'll look at stuff that been in for a day and see what's happening. Euro CHF. What was that? 96.76. This was a sell, and that is clearly 30 pips in profit, right? Your 30 pips in profit on this, that, fun enough, by sheer coincidence, Corner, it's what I've just been talking about. Right. I'm going to make a slight exception. Again, I might be wrong. I'm just thinking my feet. If you bring it down to entry at 76 at 30 pips, it might be a bit close. You won't lose. It might be worth risking a loss of 10 pips. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about pips to keep a gap of 40. How's that? So if you want to bring your stop loss down to 96.86, you will lose 10 if you're stopped out, but it's a lot better than losing. What's the difference? 30, 50. It's a bit better than losing 54 pips. 10 is a lot better than 54 pip loss. So I'd suggest it's up to you. If you want to bring it down to entry, I'm not against it. But if you prefer, you can bring it down to 10 pips above entry, giving you a wider space between the two to take care of any noise and the ups and downs. Are we all on the same page of what I'm talking about here? Are we on the same page? Yes? No? Good. Thanks, Anthony. Right, we'll move on. Don't understand, you don't ask. Like I said, I'm hardening up on this because we're not in kindergarten now. We're all adults and we need to take control of our financial future. Good stuff, Corny. Right. What was the other one? Was the EUR AUD. So we got two going okay. It's the other one. Remember, look at 2 out of 3. If this goes haywire, well, we're still the 2 out of 3. So EUR AUD, 66.80 was a buy. Well, that's where it is now. So it's not much happening on that, but the others are in profit. One's an excellent profit. The other one's breaking even. So far, not too bad. Now, going back to Carlo, he's looking at the Euro GBP. We just got into that. It's going to give this thing a chance. See what's happening here. Right. Euro GBP 87.09. It's about the same as it was. Okay. Don't forget, Carlo, if you're just starting or anybody else just starting, if it says get in at 87.10 to buy it, okay, and the price is 87.20, if it's 87.11.12, that's not going to worry about it. But if it's 10 pips or more, just check your risk calculator. You can still chase it. You know, you might not be able to chase it. Your risk reward might not be worth it if the price is basically worse. Okay. If, however, it's a better price, it's the price to get 87.10. You've opened up a computer, you see the signal, and it happens to be the market price is 87. For goodness sake, if you've got to like the trade. If you don't do it. But if you like the trade, for goodness sake, don't put a buy stop in. That's stupid. Crazy, not stupid, a bit rough that, but it's crazy. Because what you're saying is, I want to buy this at a worse price. Imagine you get a Pick and Pay and they want to charge 100 rand for the product. No, you get the teller. I'm not paying 100 rand for that. I want to pay 110. Should say, what a stuff are you smoking, mate? You get the point. So if it's 87 the market price and it's 87 the signal price and you like it, go in at market. And in fact, you rework the calculation. You might go with a bigger volume for the same risk because you're getting a better price. Hope we're all clear on that. Okay. Trying to get people to think and not blindly follow. The whole point of this whole business of the finance is teach people to understand finance so they can think themselves. Most people in the world just blindly follow and then get upset when things don't work out. Okay. Right. Okay. So that's the Euro GBP. The other one, NZDCHF. We can't call a pip in profit. It's about break even. Okay. NZDCHF was also a sell. As we were saying earlier on quite a few times, make sure you're not overexposed to one instrument. We'll send trades out as we see them, but it's up to you to take response to look at him. Now, if you get 4 trades out on the CHF over a couple of days and you're already in 3 of them, to take a 4th one, they might all be good, but the point is you're overexposed in one currency. Just be careful of that. Just, they might all be good, but if something goes wrong, you've got a risk and I can't dumb down anymore. You'll be overexposed in one currency. Don't do that. 3 is the absolute maximum, preferably 2. But you can push 3, but don't go 4 in one currency. So it doesn't matter what the currency is, however good it is, overexposed in one currency, it might be good, but if something goes wrong, that currency is going to affect all 4 trades. I hope that makes clarity. Okay. Good stuff. Okay, any questions, guys? Anything else you'd like to look at? Because I had a couple more, but I'm not so sure. I think one was a GBP AUD. I thought there might be some downside here, but I wasn't that confident on it. So 1 hour chart. Yeah, I thought there might be some downside here, but it's in a neutral zone, a bit up and down. Don't forget, very quiet markets going into the weekend. I know it's Wednesday going to the weekend. I mean that. The American markets are knocking off early today, 1 o'clock finish. Day off tomorrow for Thanksgiving, and they'll probably knock off early on Friday. Or it'd be very thin trading as well, so don't expect much happening with the NAS, the Dow. Remember, there are other countries in the world that trade, but nothing quite the volume and size, etc. That's why I often hear people talk, hang on, we'll just wait for the opening bell, which means the American market's opening. Okay. So it might be a bit quiet, but I thought might be some upside there, but I changed my mind. Look at it if you like, but I changed my mind. And I thought there might be some upside, the US dollar CAD, but I'm a little bit worried about the CAD. I think it's fairly weak. But I'm a bit worried about the ongoing strength of the dollar at the moment. It's doing okay, but I'm a little bit nervous the dollar strength. And as we just mentioned earlier on, the DXY got to 103.80. It's got a nice jump from yesterday, but it's now come off a bit. So I'm a little bit nervous of buying the dollar, and I thought that would give that a bit of a miss. But on a technical basis, there could be some upside there. I don't know if anyone's got any opinions on it. I'm just checking out there for you to have a look, discuss, and we can learn from each other. And you'd like to elaborate on that? Very important that we do discuss and learn.
Okay, hi Roger. Sorry, I just dialed in now. My apologies for being late. Gold, your take before the long weekend, maybe for the sell.
Okay, so we'll leave this alone and go on to gold. If anyone wants to do it, we'll come back to it, but you've got to put your hand up. Okay. People sitting back expect to be spoon-fed, but not saying it doesn't work that way. Right. Okay. Did you see that article I printed on there? Not article, there's a link. It's just about an hour chit-chat. I think, quite frankly, should all look at it. It's quite important. Right. No, I don't think you should be selling it. When it got to that yesterday, as you can see, I thought the possibility of a sell, and if I'd multiplied by stop, I might have made a couple of bucks out of it. It'd come off. Let's try an hour, 4-hour chart. Yeah, it came off a bit. Came off to around about this level here, about $10. So for me, for a quick profit-taking trade, a scalping profit-taking trade, yeah. Obviously, a bit of profit-taking took place, and it came off a bit. And then the guys who are scalping understand that sort of thing, would have made a few dollars on that, sure. Otherwise, no, I'm not looking to do that again. My worry is it's had another bash at 200, 2000. What's it telling you? It had a bash, fail, is having another bash. I don't want to be on the short side of gold. That was a risky one yesterday. I nearly took it. I wish I hadn't away, but I didn't. But some guys did, and that's why I pushed it down a bit. But they soon took their profit out, and look what happened. It bounced again. It's banging at the door of the 2000. It's already above that. Maybe give it till tomorrow or so, but I think 2000 is going to start looking at support area. And then you'd be buying it to put your stop below. I'm still a little bit nervous of buying it yet. I'm still looking to buy the pullback. But when you get a $2,000 holding, I will be buying it and start going up. So I'm looking to buy the pullbacks or the breakout. I'm not looking to sell this at this stage. So if it does come back, well, you would have made money if you shorted, but the risk is too high. Now let's go back to DXY Fani. That's fallen off from 103.80 to now 103.60, and the red is still there. So with the dollar pulling back, that is good for gold. Let's look at the yields on the other screen. I printed them for you. The yields are there. Just a second. Get this out of the way. There we are. Yields. Am I on the hourly? Just make sure I'm on the hourly, not the daily. Yes, I am. Right. The yields, just got to play around the other screen. Otherwise, I'm going to knock something off, which I don't want to do. Okay. They came off quite a bit yesterday. Then they started to bounce up to come off a bit, but they're still a lot higher than yesterday's low. So it looks like there's not much of a pullback on the yields either. That indicates more gold strength coming through. So putting that to answer your question in a nutshell, I'm bullish on gold. Buy the pullbacks. Never very nerve to short it. If you want to short it, be sure you take any pullback quickly. Don't hold too long. You might get caught. You might get caught with your financial trousers down.
Okay, thank you, Roger. No, because I did see it reach 2006 and then it dropped down to about 1992 and now it's back at 2005. So I was just thinking again there, maybe I can sell it down to 180, but I take your point when I see what's happening to the DXY. Thanks.
Yeah, but I want to point to something else, guys. Very important. It's not just a DXY. It's the buyers and sellers. That the price action is gained and movement from buyers and sellers. That is probably the most important part of all of it. Everything in business is about buyers and sellers. I've got a product which I want to sell, but I can't do it without buyers. And the buyer ain't going to buy my product if the price is too high or he doesn't want the product. Clearly, what does the buyer and sellers telling you there, Varney and company? They want the product, don't they? Because it came off $10 to 1995, and then look at me, it bounced. So it bounced up again, but it had a pullback and it's attacking it again. So to sell that, it might break through this time. Let's say it doesn't. What are you going to risk to make $10? I'm not talking $10 your money. I'm talking about $10 price action. To risk $10, where are you going to put your stop? You can't put it $5. That's too tight. You get stopped out in the noise. Minimum $10, even that's tight. So you're going to risk at least maybe R1 to maybe make 60, 70 cents. The maths are against you. It's not worth it. Do you get the point? It's like, if you know, betting on horses, it's like betting odds on. It's not worth it. So rather not try and get cute on the way down, wait for it to come off. If it holds there again, go for it. Wait for the momentum. You wouldn't be buying there, you'd be buying there, to be honest, because there you see no momentum, it's still downside. If it starts bouncing up there, it's a 4-hour chart, giving you a bit of room for breathe. Look at that. You might be start buying there for more movement up. Or you might say, hang on a minute, let's see if it breaks through. Let's keep an eye on the index. Let's keep an eye on the yields. If the index starts to increase again and the yields continue to increase and the index starts continually to, let's get the right way around here. Decrease, that's right. Sorry, I've got the wrong way around. Back to front, beg your pardon. If the yields continue to decrease and the dollar continues to come off, that's going to be a tailwind for gold. And the guys are waiting to buy this. Trust me, there's people out there who want to buy this and they're waiting. When they get that single weight, it's going to climb in. Gold, keep it on your watch list. I'm seeing a lot of positive on the upside. Read that article I posted there. The dollar, the fiat currencies are internationally in a mess. The debt is out of control. So the currencies to pay for that debt are reducing in value. And that's when people turn to gold. So this is one is going to be one to keep a strong eye on. So there we are. The only thing that could change, that's why it's not 100%, is suddenly something crops up, the dollar shoots up and the yield starts shooting up, then the gold will come off. But we don't know that. But at this point of the game, I'd rather buy the pullbacks or a breakthrough. Don't be on the short side. Okay. Hope we all understand that. Okay. Don't forget, when you understand, guys, what I'm talking about? Yeah, I know. It's giving me a bit of slipping deal. It's giving me a bit of problems, that one. See, the dollar's giving me worries now, actually. It's now coming off. It's doing quite well. And my worry is the pound didn't respond too much to it. Let's go to a shorter term chart. It didn't come off that much considering the bounce in the dollar, which start to worry me, actually. Yeah, I'm going to be quite honest, guys. It's worrying me a bit. Yeah, but then again, as I say, you're not going to win every sodding trade. If the CAD does well and the other 2 or 3 trades do well, so be it. But I'm going to start on this. If the dollar on the DXY still continues off, well, obviously the pound's going to go up as a result. which we don't want that to happen. So if you want to stick with strategy, you can. At 80 is a stop loss. If you're worried about it, get out. But if it goes in your right direction, you're taking the loss, so it's up to you. I can't make that call. But all I can say is I'm a little bit worried, yeah. Okay. Well, we discussed it, Samson, but we can do it a pleasure again. Let's have a look. As mentioned, we've got to single out. This is the micro, not the standard, remember. The standard is 10 contract. This is a 1 contract. So don't forget, if you're limited amount of cash, don't do the standard, do this one, which is the micro. It's bumped up a little bit, but I think overall, through the economic problems worldwide, which are definitely there, lower CPI and all that is great stuff to hear in all the mainstream media, but there's problems in the state of Denmark, as they say in Hamlet, and the economic foundations are incredibly wobbly. In fact, I think it'll fall in, actually. So, yeah, I'd be very, very, very risky to buy at these levels. Maybe it's a bit preemptive to short these levels, but I'd rather be on the downside, maybe get stopped out, but I'm rather nervous of being on the long side of it. So from that point of view, Samson, if you're going to do it, have a wide stop. That's what the micro can do for you. You can have a very wide stop, 300 pip stop if you want, without costing you a fortune, unlike currencies. But I personally, I'm nervous to be long on the Dow at the moment, but we shall see if it pans out or not. Hope that makes sense. Are we good? Makes sense, Samson? Do you agree, disagree? What do you feel? You might think you might see a good, was it Ezra Samson? Not sure which way your name is. Maybe it's Ezra, beg your pardon. You might have a good case for everyone out there to buy it. Let's hear it. Okay, you understood means you don't disagree. Okay, that's fair enough. Okay. Well, okay, guys. Any interesting questions? Like, we want to gain value. You've got your economic calendar. You know, by contract value specifications. I trust you all know what a margin is. Remember, when you trade the market, we talk about debt. I talk about debt all the time. We talk about debt, or I talk about debt all the time. This is debt as well. You're putting a margin deposit down. That's another point. People want a larger. When they say they want a larger leverage, all they're saying, I want to increase my debt. I want to put a small deposit, which means I owe more. If you buy a house for $1 million, you put a 10% deposit down, you put 100 grand down, you got a debt of 90%, haven't you? Or 900 grand. By having a more leverage, now there's a smaller margin, a small deposit, might mean you got the deposit of the house now, but it means your debt is higher. That's the same principle here. I hope you understand what that means. It's very important that you do. So, you know, when you go in, you got 1,000 rand, you got 1,001 leverage. I hope you realize that all you've done is not increase the substance of what you have. Your money's still the same. You just increased your debt potential and made you the temptation to go for something bigger than you can really afford because you now can afford the deposit. If I say, you see that fancy car over there, it's 500,000 rand, and it's 1,000 to 1 leverage, like 5,000 rand deposit. Oh, I've got 5 grand, go and buy it. You haven't thought, well, I still owe 495,000. I've got to pay the interest on it, and then you have problems with that car. I've got to look after it. You hadn't thought of that, had you? Well, that's the problem with having higher leverage to people to understand the pros and cons of leverage with small amounts. That's why it's getting to the stage where legality is going to be put in again. Our good friends, the regulators, to start maybe make it lawful low leverage for beginners. Because beginners and high leverage not understanding it, well, clearly it could be dangerous. It's like you're a first-time driver and you suddenly handed the keys to the Lamborghini and say, blow your hair back there, John, you go for it. And you're 17, just passed your driving test on the little old banger you got, and you've been handed the keys to a Ferrari. And then then said, yeah, go and have fun, mate. Is that wise? So I hope you all understand what we're talking about. You cannot trade if you understand a leverage product, what leverage means, the pros and cons, position size and calculator, that sort of thing. These are very important. I'm too busy. You guys can work it out amongst yourselves. I'm busy on the trading side. I'm not actually I'm employed to train. I don't do the classes. That's for the other guys. I'm because I'm qualified and registered with the FSCA, the regulator. I'm here to advise on trading. And I've got quite a few guys who've got to answer questions on trading. So I haven't got the time, unfortunately, to get involved in that side of it. But between you guys, I think 1 or 2 guys have done that already. If you want, the guys in the trade room want to form that and you trust each other, you can hand out each other's WhatsApp number and form that sort of idea there. And you can learn from that. There's plenty of YouTube stuff. Obviously, be choosy what you read. You can tell the difference, I think, by now, the guy's genuine or clearly a poser. Best way to tell a poser is he's dressed up to the nines and he's telling you how much money he can make for nothing, and he's posing around in front of a Learjet or a top of the range motor car. Those are the adverts you avoid. That's 90, can't always, but a high percentage, that's BS. Rather, you can listen to the guy and you can probably pick out he knows what he's talking about. And there's a bit of substance to it. It's not all huff and puff and be positive and we'll work it out and blah blah blah. Less rah rah and bit of standard. Okay, and you get a lot of good stuff on YouTube. Look around for it there. That'll help. But anyway, that's all the group discussion WhatsApp group where I share. What's that? Yeah, there you are. There, you read that, guys. Please take. Okay, fantastic. Okay, that's fine. You can do that. Anyone wants to join in that side of it. Just be careful. We don't want a bunch of blind people leaving the blind because everyone wants to make a quick buck, but they have a clue what's going on. We don't want to have too many of those because then you're going to flounder a bit. So just be a little bit careful when you have these private because you've got to have someone who knows a little bit. You know what I mean?
Sorry, Roger.
Yep.
At around 3:30 this afternoon, there's quite a lot of reports coming out.
Yeah.
USD reports.
Yeah.
It's quite extensive. There's well, about 20 reports. Do you think it's a good time to still be in the market?
Right. I want to mention some of that. Most brokers print out economic calendar, but they're completely, utterly unfiltered. And there's a classic example, guys, what Carl just said, 20 coming out 3:30. There's somebody coming out in the peso, there's somebody coming out in the dinar, there's somebody coming out in the ringgit, hordes of them, because that's what's coming out. So I've just posted earlier on, I'll post again if you like, the economic calendar, which I've filtered down to 2 and 3 star. Now, I'm not, with all due respect, interested in Mexico, Ghana, the Caribbean, I don't know, Indonesia, I don't know. I'm interested in mainly, obviously, United States, then the Eurozone, then maybe China, Japan, and the UK, and to a certain extent, Germany, because they're the players. You get the idea. And then a lot of that stuff I'm not interested in anyway, because it might come out, but it's not really that important. The number one to look at is the 3 star. Now, I'm looking at my filtered one, the economic calendar today, and at 3:30 today, I've got the weekly jobless claims. You say, I've been trading for a while. That's supposed to be on Thursday. Well, it can't be on Thursday because we've got Thanksgiving. So that's why they shipped to Wednesday. Right. Anything else coming out at 3:30 of interest? Durable goods, but that's only 2 stars. So it's there, but it could happen, but it's not basically a big important job. The one that's fairly important, actually it's quite important, is it's a jobless claims. Now that can be important, not so important, depending on the situation. All right, I have some experience of that. That's why the trade room, from that point of view, I can give value. I just happen to know that, but at the beginning you wouldn't be able to get that with experience. But initial jobless claims comes out every single week. It's not like once a month like the non-farm payrolls or the US CPI. You get the idea. So it's important, but it's not a showstopper. But it will be very important if the figures coming out, the actual, is very different to the forecast. It's 225, the forecast. If it comes at 230 or 220 or something, it'll have a bit of effect. I'll tell you right now, it will. If it comes out 100, which is hardly likely, or 500 is hardly likely, will have quite a big effect, yeah. But that we don't know. But otherwise, yeah. So the one you need to concentrate really is the initial jobless claims, okay, on the US dollar. Are you good with that? So if you haven't got that one, I'll post it again, and I've filtered it, because what you want is to get rid of the noise, basically, and get the ones of importance. Okay, makes sense? You happy, Carlo? You good with that, mate? I've lost him. What happened there? Oh, there. Yeah. Are you good with that, Carlo? Maybe he's lost his internet. Okay. Well, I hope everyone understood that. Okay. So all brokers, you can go through. We have it on here. You can go to the economic calendar with pleasure on there. But you'd be bombarded with a paper blizzard. You know what lawyers do when they tie you up in paper, so it'll take you 10 years to sort it all out, and then you give up and let the client off. You get my point. Okay, where are we? Oh, let's have a look. Yeah, okay, so I can't pronounce his name. Mr. T there. I can't say Fatso. My language is a bit rude, so and I can't pronounce the entire one. But anyway, it doesn't matter. You've got the name there. If you want to join in his, you can do it or hers. Not sure a girl or a guy there. Right. Okay. Right. What's the time? Half past. Got another half hour. I hope we can use it from value. I haven't got any other trades. I mentioned a few out there. We've got a few running. Don't expect fireworks, guys. I mentioned don't expect fireworks. It's going to be fairly quiet going into Monday because of the Thanksgiving coming up, half days and full days, and that's America, I know, but they're so important to the world's finance area. And even going to Friday, I doubt much fireworks going to the weekend. So we hopefully get some action on Monday. But being said, we've got a couple of trades out and haven't been going too badly so far. Right, let's go NZDCHF. It just came out. Any movement on that one? What's it say there? At 53.35 if you got there. It's not too bad. And the other one was Euro GBP. Euro GBP was a buy. Where is it? Buy 87.05. 87, about the same. Okay. Sorry, guys, just came across my screen there. My internet's a bit unstable. Like yesterday, I have no idea why. It's I'm in Joburg. I've moved down to Ivongo. I've just come up for this week in Joburg, and it's not only a big city; it's a much faster one I've got here. And as a result of it, should be more reliable, not less reliable. So it makes sense that, but that's life. But so we did cut off, but it's not me being rude. It's that damn internet. Okay, guys. Right. Anything else we discussed about this? Couldn't have done unless you modified it. What's this TP? Or maybe you're right. 108.73. Did you get that high? Maybe you're right. Bloody hell. Excuse my language. Sorry about that. Yo, it did indeed. Hey, Vilna, I love you. Hey, it did indeed. Ha ha ha. Nice one. I'm a little boy in a candy shop. Brilliant. I bet you got a smile, hey, Vilna. Did you see that, guys? CAD, JPY, hit the TP. Yo. Whose trade was that anyway? Oh, yes, it was mine. So next time you blast with a wrong trade, I'll remind you of this one. You got a big smile, Villa. Here you got that. I thought I'd sneak in when find is on Facebook, but he unfortunately heard it. He didn't let me get away with that.
Absolutely. By the way, the CPI of South Africa have been announced at 10 o'clock. It's higher than expected.
What's happened at 10 o'clock today?
Yes, that was a 1 star, sir. So it's 5.5 versus 5.9 on the year to year.
Okay, sorry, what was that on? Because I only got 2 star. What was that again? Sorry, Fani.
Right, the CPI for South Africa on a year to year for October was 5.9 versus 5.5 expected. So still below the 6, but just so it's worse than last month.
Worse. Right. Now, what does that mean, guys? Okay, I know you know, fine. I'm talking to other guys. It means it's a 5.9 compared to 5.5. It means it's inflationary. When it means inflationary, it goes back to our good friend, the interest rates. Interest rates increase, might strengthen the rand a bit, but it'll make your life as a man in the street very uncomfortable because the debt you got on your car and your bond doesn't go away. It starts to increase, or at least your repayments start to increase. You get the point. So We'll see at the next budget what they're going to do about it, but that's not good news. Thanks for pointing that out. The reason why it's 1 star, I get on investing.com, which is an American one, and no disrespect, fellow South Africans, but we don't count for too much in world markets. You get the idea. So that's why it's a 1 star. We're important to South Africa, but we're not what happens here important to the world, unfortunately. Economically, might be in other ways, might love us very much. I'm talking economically. Oh, you have? Well, that didn't say that earlier on. You see what he just said, though, or she? Is it she or she? Is that a boy or girl? I'm not really aware of the name, so I'll call you Mr. or Mrs. T. That was what I was worried about. You get a lot of guys in this business in South Africa who've had a week, maybe a slight exaggeration, a little bit, not very much experience, coming out and advising and doing this and doing that. And in the end, it causes upset. You know, if you've had 6 years experience, it means you know the difference between a pip and a point. A difference between a share and a derivative, then it might be worth okay. And if you've got 6 years, you can add to the flavor here. You know, you can say, hang on a minute, what do you think of that? And you can put ideas in. We might pick something off you because I think you're one of the more experienced. Not everyone here has got 6 years, far from it. So you might have some bits and pieces to add that we could all learn from. Okay. So it's good to have these guys on board. Yeah, well, the reason will be on that because even though it's a 1 star to there, it's a 3 star to South Africa. Let's go to the US dollar ZAR. That's the most traded. Euro and GBP is trade, obviously, but it's the biggest of the ZAR. Well, there you are. Thank you, Farney. Let's go to the 15-minute to show what I mean. Why, hang on a minute. That's the wrong way around. That's interesting. That is interesting. Hey, Farney, why is that? That is interesting. Remember, it's inflationary. What happens when it's inflationary? What do you expect to occur, guys? An increase down the line, not this bloody moment, no. Down the line, expectation of increase. So you start preempting that by taking a position to buy that specific currency. But that currency is just weakened and the dollar's come off. That's an interesting take, that. Sometimes the market can do something which maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I've got that wrong. You've been trading 6 years. Why does that occur? That is interesting. That in theory should be the other way around. You know what I'm saying? That's why, again, I didn't suddenly nothing happened there, suddenly did it. Dollars, all right, sorry, the dollar's jumped up a little bit, but the bottom line, that jumped. This is a 15-minute chart, and that's just jumped. That's interesting. That's very interesting. What do you think, guys? I might be bloody ignorant on this one. I might be wrong. Because you do get it sometimes. We had it with the euro a few months ago, where the euro weakened, even though the hawkish stance was taken. Maybe it's perceived that the economy is so shaky here that they can't afford more interest rates, but inflation is going to right. When you got the economy in such a situation, they can't afford to increase interest rate anymore because they get overwhelming debt, defaults on bonds, on motor cars, price are going to go up, all sorts of backfiring, etc. They can't do that anymore. So therefore, if they can't put that up, inflation will continue upwards, which will devalue the currency. So that might be the reason why it devalued, because they are restricted any more increases for the reason I just gave. So therefore, to level it out, the only way you can level it out is to weaken the currency. Therefore, we got the jump. That might be the idea. I don't want to feel fed up with you guys, but I'm already in this one. So that's good for me. Just to make you all fed up now. I'm already in. I discovered the other day, Gerard, and I decided to take it. All right,
at what level did you get in, sir?
I'll tell you now what I got in. What's that say there? I just read it on the screen there. 18.3485. Call it just under 18.35, just under that. And I've modified my stop into profit. Now, should I modify it a bit further up? What's this one? A daily? I put it below yesterday's low. Try and put it up below yesterday's low. Put it up there. So I'll still make a profit, but I'm going to let that run. There's my TP there, just below the 50-day, like I did the CAD JPY. Might run through. We'll see. I wonder if I should put it up a bit. I think I might actually do that, actually. Get it out of the way. Might get rid of noise there. I'll stay on board. If it gets stopped out, so be it. Might run it up. Run with your profits. There's a good chance it might happen. If they can't put it in, if they can't increase interest rates, therefore they've got to deflate the economy, as in inflate the economy rather. That will only weaken the rand. That could be good news. So I'm going to stick with that. Whether you want to join it now, technically speaking, with that hurdle just up around the corner on the 50 days, another story. But yeah. So from the bottom line on that one, I don't know if anyone did take it. Gerard talked about it. Make sure, again, you're protected, but I'm keeping a wide gap there. That's pretty damn wide. If I do make a mistake, I'm going to make a couple of bucks, decent one. But if I get a decent run, I'm really going to be a smiling guy. Okay. 18.73. A stop loss. I don't know what you're talking about. How can I have an 18.73 stop loss? It's above market, unless you're going short. I'm sorry, Selby. I think you got a typo there. Unless you're talking about pips. You might be talking about pips, sorry. But slightly
But in
different
any
to
case,
Yeah,
sorry,
it's
sir,
not.
but in any case,
But- It's 250 pips, sorry. It's a half a dozen decimal points are useless there, Selby. Sorry about that. And sorry, finally, go on.
no, I just looked at tomorrow's schedule as the start to South African interest rates will be announced at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
So,
Sorry, finally.
just be
Please keep us
careful there.
informed on that. Thank you. I forgot about that because I've filtered the two and the world doesn't count us. So we'll always be one and that can go under the radar. So that's, excuse my ignorance, because I follow so much the Americas because I'm dealing with international markets and they're such big players. I suddenly forget what's going on my own doorstep. Thank you very much. So that's tomorrow release. Is that right? Aha. What time? 3:30, I presume, as normal.
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. 3 o'clock is normal. Okay. Good point. Aha. Well, if the high CPI, no increased interest rates, that's telling you something. We're going to have to inflate the economy. We can't afford to do that anymore. A bit like Japan had to take the dovish tone because the debt was so high. Similar principle over here. They can't afford to put more people out of work, more closure of debt. People are saddled with debt on their houses and cars. Price of food's gone through rocket. They can't afford it. They probably certainly will not now. And as a result, this is going to accept inflation to devalue the currency. Okay. Okay, so there we are. Interesting. Keep losing the screen. That's better. Haha. Thanks for that, Farney. Yeah, keep an eye on those for us on the South African front. It's good to know because I do subscribe to Business Day, to be honest, but I often miss stuff because I'm so concentrated on what's happening internationally. Yeah, as I say, so busy chasing out there, forget what's happening on your own doorstep. Right. We saw that. Okay, are we all good about the dollar rand, etc.? Don't forget, guys. Do not trade the dollar rand if you don't have enough money in your account. And how do you find that out? You've got to check the specifications. It's an exotic. It's not a major, so therefore it tracks higher margins and higher spreads. Just bear that in mind. I haven't personally, but I'm not a tech guy. If you've got any problems loading the quick trade platform, go on to tech support. They'll assist you or put you in the right direction. Hope it's not me. Clinton's very good at it. He does the platform training. He's outstanding, and he's on the ball, and he's good, and you can interact with him. He's great. He's very good. But that sort of thing, tech support, Clinton or whatever, or your account manager. I don't know who he is, or she is there, but something like that. They should. But I haven't had any problems now. Not that, I mean, I'm already loaded on it, but I haven't any problems reloading. Not that I've tried. Okay, guys, do you hear that? Any problems with loading or anything like that, go to the live chat, go to tech support. If you come to me, I'll put you through to Clinton because I'm not going to be the chairman of the board of the software department anytime soon. And if you don't find your satisfaction there, being facetious here, look around for a youngster, go and ask them, they'll know. Guaranteed about 18, 19, 20, they all know. They brought up this bloody stuff. I wasn't. To me, apple is something you eat to make the doctor go away. Okay, good. Right. Anything happened to our trades? So we can have a quick let's have a look at gold actually, talking about that. Because if we get a pull, I want to look for gold. 2000. Yeah. Yeah, let's pull back a bit. If it gets around there, I'm looking for it anyway. There's another way. We do need some money, by the way. You can build up a position on it. You don't want to miss out. It gets to 1990. You can go in some of your position. Pulls it back a bit more, some more. So that's not chasing and adding to a loser. That's very different to adding to a loser. I'm not saying that. If you can afford 1,000 and you put another 1,000, another 1,000, another 1,000 in, that's adding to a loser. But if you can afford 1,000, you might want to risk part of that 1,000 by going in at market, just in case you miss out. If it comes back a bit more, add another bit until your entire 1,000 rand risk is in over a period. You get the point. So you can build a position as long as it's within your risk standard on one instrument, not jumping in and doubling up. Again, people just do that, which is not cool. But yeah. But I say the dollar, I hopefully increase because I'm a short the GBP USD. But and I hope it's actually going to increase a bit to pull a gold back. Get a gold pull back, maybe 90, maybe get 1980 or something like that, or better. You hear me saying? Then we can definitely start building a position in that. Okay. Are we all good? People, a couple of bucks will know what I mean. People who haven't got a couple of bucks won't be able to do that because it's just lack of funds. Remember, guys, capital you need in capitalism. That's why it's called capitalism. If you don't have capital, don't care what Robert Kiyosaki said, you do. And how do you get the capital? By writing books, which he sold well, and that's how he funded it. Without that, he wouldn't be able to do it. So if you haven't got capital, you still need it, but then you might have to go and write a good book to which people buy. Any questions? Anything else we discussed? Anything you'd like clarity on? Anything you're not sure about? I hope you gained value. I'm trying to get across proper principle of trading, which includes humility, not too much ego, and admitting you don't know everything, because as far as ill don't. There's an enormous amount of people out there in this business know a lot more than me. But anyway, for what it's worth, I know a little bit. Any questions? Do you want to have a look at the open positions? NZDCHF, we'll start at the top of this one here, NZDCHF. It said to sell at 35. It's about even Steve, nothing happened there. Euro GBP, that was a buy at 09, 87.09. Euro GBP. Euro GBP. Damn, it's holding an 80. You'll see what goes there. We hit the TP. Several. Philip put a hand up on that. Did anybody else take the CAD JPY? Went out yesterday. I don't hear a lot of anybody else jumping up and down with glee. Did anybody else take that trade? If they did, they should have hit the TP. Did anybody else take that trade, or did nobody else do it? No point sending trades out if you don't like them. People call for signals, and then we send them out and they miss out. That was a nice one. Nobody else did it. That's a bit heartbreaking. But I bet you all did the ones that bloody well didn't do any good. That's called Mr. Murphy's Law. Ah, Modiri, I saw your name there, and I think, I hope I hear from you. I just looked at your names. I haven't heard much from Modiri. I hope I do. Just so that thing went to my mind, you came out. We call that brainwave understanding. Well, I just called that anyway. Brilliant. Anybody else? Let's hear some good news before we close up. Anybody else do that? And please don't somebody point out I went for and I lost money. I'd like to know how that happened. It's like the straddle trade, eh, Farney? How the hell managed that? It's quite an achievement. But anyway, anybody else? Anybody? Yeah. Anybody else do this one? Gertrude, did you do it? Eric, did you do it? You should have all got it. Becky Saylor, you should have done it. They're all quiet now because they do it on the demo. Now they're fed up. Ha ha, caught ya. Okay. Well, no one to tell me. Fair enough. Euro CHF, that's in a profit. Oh, Gertrude. Oh, no. That's pretty about that. You're a regular here. You should have done that. Anyway, whatever you didn't. There's no point going with that. Euro 76. That's a good point there, Becky. If you take a couple of losses, you lose confidence. But again, Murphy's Law, we take 3 losses, success comes around the corner. So you take a step back, and what happens? That's the one you miss out on. Or you get 3 winners on the trot, and you've been risking 100, and decide we had 3 winners, and never mind one, now I'm going to start risking 200 or 300 and overexposing, and that one comes back and kicks. You know what I mean? It's better to be disciplined and say you're going to take losses, and yeah, stick with it. Okay. All right. But anyway, fair comment. I understand that totally. You need a confidence building. Well, even though you weren't in it, Becky Saylor, hope you can see that it does occasionally work, and that was one of them. Now, another one's the EURCHF. That is now at, well, it's about 30 pips profit. So it can work. And that's what happens. You get 2 or 3, not 1, but 2 or 3, sometimes 4, sometimes even 5, not that often on the trot losers. You just want to give up. And then you miss out the 4 or 5 wins around the corner, or you get ahead of yourself, you get 5 winners on the trot, and then you think, well, I'm going to win every time, and you come back. It's just got to remember, it's an up and down world. Okay. But I got a bit despondent pound dollar yesterday, and it seemed to be coming right. So hopefully it'll continue coming right, and then we all get confidence, it's a human thing. And you just talk to yourself, hang on, remember last week or the week before, whenever it was, I had several good ones. I couldn't go wrong. I remember joking, finally, a couple of months ago, what's going on here? Not another winner, surely. You know, obviously I was kidding. But, you know, another days you think, my God, what have I done wrong? I haven't a clue. I don't know what I'm doing. That's the market for you. That's life, hey. Go up to Liz Hurley and she just wants to marry me. And then go up to Quasimodo and he wants to and doesn't want to go out with me, and you wonder why. That's life, eh?
Emotions.
Emotions. Yeah. But I tell you what, without emotions, you wouldn't have had love, and or much more important love, you would not have the emotional, esoteric appreciation of a single malt. So there are some good things about emotion.
It's true, but I need to suppress it when I'm trading because I couldn't take the cat trade because I was afraid for margin calls. That's the only negative about it. I was already in that Euro AUD trade as well, and that one went south, unfortunately.
Are you still in it? You are AUD.
No, it went south. It hit my stop loss.
It went to 28, did it, in the end? Yes, you're right. For fuck's sake. Oh, shit. I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. And like you're saying there, guys, you missed out the good ones simply lack of free margin. What a pity.
Yeah, that was bad. But it's my problem because I have a tendency of over trading or overexposing. Please be careful. That's emotions calling on you.
I want to develop that. It's absolutely vital. I'm sorry, guys, it is vital. There's a little thing I've actually captured and downloaded. It's principles what not to do in trading. Over trading the account, no. Overexposing, no. No patience, no. Lack of patience, no. You need patience, in other words. Lack of discipline, no. The problem with that, it's boring. The trouble with most things in life is boring. How many people go up and say, hang on, I've got an exam to do next week. Oh, yippee! I can spend the whole week studying instead of going out partying. Whippy! No, that's the problem. That's the problem. It's boring. And that's where the discipline comes in. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. I have to say it, free margin, discipline, keeping your position size the same correctly for what you're risking on your account, whether you're on a winning streak or a losing streak. Absolutely. The confidence levels must not be overconfident through greed when you do well, a lack of confidence and too negative to do badly, try it. That's very, very difficult. I'm just saying. And patience required. You might not trade for 2-3 days. Then you look for one, you adjust all of trend lines and all that to figure it out. That gives you to do it. And then you do it and you wish you hadn't. Patience, give the trade a chance. GBP gave us a chip yesterday. We had been stopped out. People are panicking. Now, what's it doing now? It's come down to 09. It's still in the loss, but it's better at 09 than at 60. You know what I mean? So there are times when that needs to be done. That is the thing. And I get this a lot from experience trading. Find them on YouTube. You've got to use a bit of common sense, what a bullshit a proper trader is. And a few guys in there, well, if you've been in the business, you know the guy knows he's talking about what he says. If you don't know the difference. And all of them will say, overtrading your account, overexposing, lack of patience, and not keeping an eye on your free margin, and basically lack of discipline. But those are things, and that's what happens, yeah. And finally, it's just said it just happened to him. So, just remember that, guys. Not just me saying it.
And unfortunately, I'm attending already a year, so I got a year of practical experience, and it's still the same old trap. This is what I call a bull trap or a greed trap. I'm not sure what it is.
I like that, the greed trap. I'm going to tell you a little secret, guys. It won't be a secret any longer. I'll be doing a lot longer than 1 or 50 months or whatever. I still fall into it. I'm sorry. It's like smoking. If you give up smoking, the rest of your life, you'll be a smoker that doesn't smoke, not a non-smoker. You know what I'm trying to say? What I'm saying is it's always going to be with you. And you get better at it. I'm better it was a couple of years ago, better it was 4 years ago, better it was 6 years ago, etc. But it's always going to be there. I hate to say it. Sorry to partner disappointing news there. It's something you're never going to get over. You know what I mean? It's always going to be there. It's part of our genome. I don't know how long we've been on the planet. Some say 200,000 years, some 300,000. I don't know. So I talk about the Homo sapien, but it's built into our genome, handed down through genetics. We have children, etc., and it's all going to be there. It's a question of conquering it. That's what the big sports stars do. I mean, you don't see a golfer just hitting a birdie, running around like they do on the cricket or rugby or football field, waving his club in the air. Hey, look at me! Yay! So, you know what I'm saying? It's yeah, it's just work on it. That's all I can say. But it's a stinker. Stinker. Hey.
Sorry, Roger, can I ask? I had to step out into a meeting. Did you guys talk about gold?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Okay. Do you think it's too high and it's going to fall off?
No, sorry, Chris. We talked about it. Don't so we could talk about it again. You missed out on that. If you can't come here on time, gold, we're not going to talk about it. Hey, Farley. No more talk about gold. Sorry about that. That's fine. Okay. I'm trying to tease you. Not much success. Okay. All right. Gold. Let's go to right. Okay. Gold. I'm seeing as buy the pullbacks or the breakthrough. I don't want to be short on gold. So if it pulls back to 1980, don't come and kick my virtual ass because you could have made $10 the way down. Because where are you going to put your stop? 2010, $20 stop to make $5. It's not worth it. Rather wait for a pullback. If it comes down to about 1990, you may look at it. If the dollar yields are coming off, sorry, the dollar strength, the DXY comes off and the yields come off, buy it. If the trying to get the right way around now. If the dollar still strengthening, the yields are still going up, don't get at 1990, you might get a better price. So before you jump in, look at the technical support and look at the yields and the DXY to make sure they corroborate the buy. If you can get the 3, go for it. Get your stop out the way because I am looking for a breakthrough of 2010 going forward. I'm telling you right now, the world debt is a serious issue, and you can play around with dodge around with what's your accounting tricks thing. You can be an accountant, tightrope player or whatever, or gymnastic, but it's still gymnastics. It's still the substance is there. They don't have the money to pay the bills. They have the money to pay the interest. It is getting close to the situation. They don't have the money to pay the interest. Then the whole thing will fall down. Look at Eskom. That's where I have to get bailed out. If they could pay the interest, even if they pay the capital, they can carry on. But the problem is they can't pay off the interest, and that's adding to the capital. So that's why the bailout comes in. You get it? That's my worry, and that's why people turn to gold throughout history. That's retained its value, where the currencies have not. Gold is exactly the same price it was 1,000 years ago. Just because it says $2,000 instead of $1, gold's the same price. It means that the currency is devalued by 2,000 times, not gold. So gold is the underlying substance behind it. And that's why I would suggest buying the pullback. The only thing that can break it in two is, yo, Geronimo, wonderful things have happened. We don't know gold anymore. The debt is gone, flash into thin air, and we're going back to manufacturing, the private sector, and all the, well, not all of them, but 70% of the bloody bureaucrats have all been fired, Sodom, and sent to Madagascar. I'm being nasty to bureaucrats. Then we could, but that's not going to happen. Remember, like I
Okay,
said
thanks.
earlier on, guys, the problem is today when you see the jobs report coming out, as much as 70 to 80% of the jobs being created are in the non-private sector, the non-manufacturing, the non-wealth create area. They're being created in the area which uses up money, which is borrowed money or tax money. And that money's got to be paid back, which again needs tax money of the wealth creators. So the big boys have realized that, take money elsewhere, and the middle class have been squeezed enough, and the poor aren't creating taxes, so they haven't got enough of that. So they're going to borrow more, and it looks good, the unemployment, but it's unemployment and more bureaucrats. And bureaucrats, with all due respect, it's very sweet that it is, are not creating wealth. And that's where the problem's coming in. And that's why gold, I see upwards, and I see it's getting pretty close. I can't pick tops and bottoms. Nobody can. A major correction in the markets. And I think it's going to be seriously big. Sorry to be doom and gloom, but I want you to be aware of it so you can prepare ahead. It's no good finding out you're going off the cliff once you're in the bloody air. You need to know about it before. So we're going to start preparing ourselves for that. It might be a year, might not be
Sorry.
5 years. I don't know, but it's going to happen. Go on.
Roger, and USD, JPY, and CHF, JPY as a buy,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
because that USD is just climbing.
Yep. A couple of things. I looked at the dollar yen as well as a potential signal. I do like it. It's come off far too much. I do some upside. Why didn't I send a signal? I'm a bit hesitant. Is number one, it's got quite a bit of overhead resistance, more or less where it is at the moment. You know what I mean? So that is one reason. Number two, we've already got a GBP USD out. Have we got any others? No, we just got the one out. So we're not going to overexpose the dollar. My little bit of the worry of the dollar is I agree it's going up, but I'm not sure that's continuing. It's at 103.90 at the moment. I hope it continues because I'm short the pound. I'm long the dollar at the moment, personally speaking. But I am not sure, is it going to continue above 104? The jobless claims might create that situation because remember, Powell never said we're decreasing interest rates next year. He said we'll keep an eye on the situation. The institutions are reading to that. We're getting a decrease by March, April, hence a bit of weakening the dollar. If the jobless claims come out slightly inflation, in other words, I'm not sure they're going to work that because normally it's good for the dollar is less. But if it's more this time, it might be inflation, depending on how it's picked out. So see how the reaction to it. That could indicate that a push through 104, an expectation that interest rate not decrease, but not even remaining the same going forward into 2024 might be a chance, and even more. At the moment, it's taken out the equation, any more increases, everyone's speculating on when it's going to be decreased. If we get something inflationary, it might be a situation where we change track, go back to hawkish, another one could come about, and that would strengthen the dollar further. Until that comes about, I'm still going to say it's unlikely we're going to push much. I think we'll get a 104, but I'm not sure unless we hear that it's going to press much above 104 before weakness comes in. If that's the case, I'd be a little bit nervous of buying at these levels now. That's the only reason why I hesitated. But otherwise, I'll be okay with it. Hope that makes sense. Not too quick.
And your Swiss franc, Japanese yen?
Right. I think a fear of intervention and quite frankly, a bit undervalued. The yen strengthened a bit. I think so much strength is more fear and undervalued. It can actually happen. You know what I mean? You can have like the rand can be so undervalued, people buy it. The Swiss franc is so overvalued, people sell it. I think that's probably what's happening. So yeah, I see upside. I'm just worried we missed the bloody boat again, actually. I keep saying that and I keep missing it, still goes up. Oh, I'm just scared, but sorry. I can give you a decent analysis on the other one, This is pure emotional fear. Sorry, Beckett Zayla, I'm the same as you. Why did Tuggy had a bit of bad run? I chicken it out. I'm afraid I'm a bit chicken on it. So I'm only being human on this. 4 hour. Should get over this chicken talk. Weekly. You see, I don't want to miss it, but I want to get a better price. It's like I want your house, Chris, but it's you want £1 million for. I really want it, but I want to get 900. But if I risk asking 900, I know fine will come off $1 million. I'm going to lose out. What do I do? See what I'm this horns the dilemma upon which I am sitting. So I need help, guys. Should we wait for a better price, or is it worth chasing now? Is there much meat on the bone? 270 pips, is that right? Plenty of meat on the bone. What do you reckon, guy? Where's the stop loss down here? Ooh, it's a bit of a wide stop. Oh, and the daily, yeah, the daily. It's a bit of a wide stop. Ooh, hang on, that's a good point. That's helped me. Right. 123 pip, and it's only at 11 hours old today. I think we'll wait for a pullback. I think get a profit-taking pullback for you, get a better price. Or it might have a bit of profit-taking around these levels here. I like it, but I think after a big move, that might be some profit-taking. You might get a better 30 pip cheaper. Sorry about that. I'm a bit scared. You're not the only one, Becky Zayla, check it out. You know what I mean? I'm a bit chicken on this one. I like it very much, but I want a better price. What do you think, guys? Do you think it's worth going in now or better price? What do you think, Chris? Sorry, much help there. You need
No,
any
I'm going
ramblers
in.
out there. You're going in. Well done, Rambler.
Yeah.
Sod the bloody chickens around here. Yeah. What are you, a fox or a chicken, Roger?
I went
Cluck, cluck.
into I went into the USD JPY as well
Okay.
yesterday,
Okay.
and
Well,
I
you
made
did
some
all
good
right.
money this morning. Yeah.
Okay. Well, are you still in the JPY?
No, I woke up in a bad mood and I closed the trading profit. I should have left it to run.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't go now, but I think I'll still go up another. I think it's got another
Yeah.
30 pips in it. So you're still in,
Yeah.
modify your stop and aim another 30 pips. It'll get there. Okay, but I won't chase it now. Okay. Sorted. Thanks, Chris. Catch you
Thank
next
you.
time. Don't forget, tomorrow, American holiday, quiet in the markets. We'll still have a trading room, and there's other instruments in other countries in the world other than the USA. Just remember that, guys. Thank you, Selby. Thank you for your support. Thank you. Brilliant. That's the whole point. Is live is one thing, but it's got to be comprehensible. That is the major word in that paragraph. There's no point me being here if it's incomprehensible. Clearly, good stuff. Thank you. Okay,
Thanks,
guys.
Uncle.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Farney.
all.
Thanks for your assistance, Gerard Farney, and all the others, and of course, your support, guys. Thank you very much indeed. Cheers, guys. See you tomorrow. Oh, by the way, Vilna got in and she hit the TP. So there. How to make yourself unpopular, hey? On that note, cheers.